What's going on in the skies? Within the last year, some horrifying plane crashes shook the world, killing high-profile executives, families with young children, and raising terrifying questions about aviation safety. Is this just a dark coincidence? Or is something more disturbing taking shape above us?
The plane crashed. It's upside down.
Just recently, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner lifted off from the runway heading to London with over 240 people on board. Families, kids, business travelers, tourists, all expecting a routine flight. But just 30 seconds later, everything went wrong. The plane's nose tilted up. Then it dropped, hard and fast, becoming one of the worst air disasters India has seen in decades.
This crash, which happened less than a minute after takeoff at only 625 feet.
And at first, authorities said it, no survivors. Until they saw him. A barefoot man in a bloodied white t-shirt appeared from the wreckage. He was limping, disoriented, but somehow walking. That man was Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British citizen, husband, father of a young boy. He had been sitting in seat 11A, a window seat, first row of economy, right behind business class. The side that took the most impact, and yet somehow he made it out alive.
He had been traveling with his brother, but does not know if his brother survived.
Doctors say it's a miracle. The rest of the passengers are believed to have died on impact.
मेरे नज़रों के सब सामने हुआ था मेरे खुद को भी बिलीव नहीं होता कि मैं कैसे उसमें से जिंदा बाहर निकला.
This wasn't just another accident. It was the first ever crash involving a Dreamliner since they entered service in 2009. It's hard to wrap your head around it, and yet, here we are.
It does appear that the plane was just after takeoff.
Another tragedy struck in the heart of New York City earlier this year. A tourist helicopter plunged into the Hudson River, claiming the lives of everyone on board, including Agustin Escobar, an executive at Siemens, his wife Merce, and their 3 children.
They were celebrating the mom's 40th birthday. They were very excited. It's just really a sad story the more you learn about it.
But sympathy isn't enough, because these crashes aren't isolated. They're part of a growing pattern that's becoming impossible to ignore. In just the past few months, headlines have been filled with mid-air horrors. The Japan Airlines Inferno, where a plane burst into flames on the runway after a crash with a Coast Guard aircraft. Miraculously, all 379 passengers survived. One of the most horrifying mid-air tragedies in U.S. history unfolded over the Potomac River. American Airlines Flight 5342 collided with a Black Hawk military helicopter, killing 67 people. 2 very different aircraft with 2 very different missions, yet somehow they were on the same path. Just 2 days later, a medical evacuation flight went down in a Philadelphia neighborhood, killing all 6 passengers and 1 person on the ground.
Fireball, there was debris everywhere. There was people running back and forth. There was so much stuff happening at once.
But the most chilling part? The cockpit voice recorder, meant to preserve every second of flight data, hadn't worked in years. How was this allowed to happen? Bearing Air Flight 445 vanished without a trace over the icy waters of Norton Sound, Alaska. 10 people were on board. No wreckage, no distress call, just gone. Families are still waiting, still hoping, still asking how a plane in the 21st century could disappear into thin air. Or Delta Connection Flight 4819 approached its landing in Toronto like any other routine flight until it violently flipped on the runway, injuring 21 passengers. No extreme weather, no visible technical issues. So what went wrong?
Oh, no.
From the US to Asia, Europe to Africa, it's like aviation is under siege.
Question weighing on everyone's minds, should I be worried if I'm flying?
Is this the result of overworked pilots, aging fleets, profit-driven shortcuts? Or could it be something even bigger? a lapse in global oversight. Some point to aging aircrafts, machines flying well beyond their intended lifespan, held together by patches and prayers. Others blame corporate negligence. Boeing has faced intense scrutiny, especially after internal whistleblowers accused the company of cutting corners on safety to maximize profits. Then there's climate change, with rising turbulence, stronger storms, and shifting wind patterns throwing even the most experienced pilots off course. After the COVID-19 slowdown, global air travel roared back to life. But airlines and regulators? They weren't ready. Experts say the rush to meet demand may have come at a cost. Rushed inspections, overbooked crews, and outdated systems. Insiders claim that planes are being pushed into the skies before they're truly ready, just to keep up with demand. Faced with rising fuel costs, inflation, and pressure from shareholders, some airlines are reportedly slashing budgets in the least visible places, like critical maintenance checks. Could the very systems meant to keep us safe be crumbling behind the scenes?
We now know the cockpit voice recorder from the medical transport jet that crashed in Philadelphia wasn't recording.
Multiple near collisions in 2025 have raised red flags, and some point directly to fatigue. Controllers working back-to-back shifts, pilots juggling compressed flight hours, and a shortage of trained professionals all add up to a dangerous mix.
There have been reports from the FAA that some facilities are operating at only 60%, such as DCA, which was recently highlighted in a very tragic air accident.
Finally, not all planes in the sky are shiny new jets. In fact, many airlines are still flying 20 to 30-year-old aircraft, originally designed for much shorter lifespans. And while older planes can be safe with proper upkeep, that requires money and time, both of which seem in short supply. The result? Hydraulic failures, cabin depressurizations, engine fires, each one another ticking time bomb.
As long as they're maintained well, you can safely fly in them.
And still, the frequency, the scale, the horror feels like more than just bad luck. Is air travel truly the safest form of transportation? So what's really going on? Well, some experts still insist.
I think a lot of this is coincidence.
Yeah.
We just happen to have these incidents and they're not related to each other.
But what do you think is really behind this surge in aviation disasters? Is it a wake-up call for the entire industry, or just a string of freak accidents? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into today's most shocking stories. Because the truth might be up there, but it's not always easy to spot from 30,000 feet.